This is the future. Evolution.
The Crossing Realms Conference launches September 19th and 20th and will dock in Richmond, Missouri. This is already being called the event of the year, folks. With an unprecedented list of speakers and special guests, 2 days of cryptids, UFOs, and paranormal presentations, along with a celebrity-filled ghost hunt, meet and greet, gallery reading, vendors, and a film screening. This promises to be both educational and fun. Go to Eventbrite.com to secure your tickets and vendor slots before they are all abducted. They're going fast.
That's right, everybody. All my mateys out there. Arr. Tickets are being abducted as we speak. That's right. It's going to be a fantastic conference. The 17th, the 19th, and 20th of September 2025. All the information is posted in all of our channels across the board. The links are in this show. Thanks to each and every single one of you for coming on for late night with BMR, Krista, and Monica as of right now. I think Brandi will be joining us. I'm unsure, but we'll see. Text maybe later on in the show. If this is your first time here, please subscribe to Bigfoot Michigan Rob on YouTube. The Blondes and the Booze Paranormal Podcast on YouTube. Monica Rollins, Our Paranormal World on YouTube. Texas Front Porch. Donnie Cho Says Stuff. Paranormal Paul. PRT with Josh Turner. Check us out. We're on 7 days a week. Turn on the alert bells, everybody. The alert bells are the key to catching every single show. I've added a fourth show. Yeah, I have. Fridays at 6:30. Spooky story time. Cryptid encounter stories. That's taken off pretty well. You guys seem to like it, so check that out. Friday, 6:30, 7 o'clock. Right up, leading up into the Blondes and the Booze every Thursday at 9 o'clock in the East. And, of course, on Friday at 8 in the East as well. The Super Chat's open. A great way to help support what we all do around here. Of course, you can also become a BMR pirate. Join today. Join the many. Join the few. Depending on your point of view. Thanks for you all for coming on in. You can find us on podcast formats. Spreaker, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, you name it, whatever is your flavor, you will find all of us across the board. Thanks for that. So I'm not going to waste any more time. Thanks to everybody for coming on. Don't forget to hit the like button. And I'm going to bring from the left to the right, Miss Krista.
Hey.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm pretty good. You know, I'm just a little tired myself. And before we get into that, we'll bring up the lovely Monica.
Hey.
Hey, Monica. How's it going?
I muted myself. It's going good.
Yeah, well, great start. You know, I did. Hey, speaking of muting yourself, it wasn't this past Friday. It was the other Friday. It was Friday last week. So I was doing this. I'm doing these stories now, right, on Fridays, and I put myself on mute. I don't know how I put myself on mute. And when I go Friday nights, I go solo. So I always, I don't really need a co-host because I just go on and I just tell a story, then I'll give my take, and I just move on to those shows. So I have myself on mute, so I don't really pay attention in the chat room. Then I happen to glance at the chat room, and I swear, you guys, about 2 or 3 minutes, I was on mute. Nobody could hear me. Then I finally glanced. Rob, you're on mute. You're on mute. Blah, blah, blah. This and that. I'm like, oh, geez. So I forgot I didn't know where I went mute on. So it's like I had to try to recall where I maybe went mute. But anyway, it was fine though. Nobody left, but it was, it kind of sucked, to be honest with you.
It happens.
It does. Obviously.
Yeah, well, it's happened to me at least twice at least. So,
Okay.
Monica, I just got this text from Better Homes and Gardens magazine.
Did you?
I did, yeah, that's right.
And what did it say?
I was getting my annual lineup or the annual flowers that I've been asking you about, which I know you'll give me some as it gets closer to spring.
I'll give you a whole garden layout if you want. You just need to send me the shape of your yard.
Well, I can do that too. I have the worst time with the annuals. I want them to grow back every year.
Well, annuals don't do that. Perennials do.
That's what I meant.
Yeah.
Annual is a yearly thing. I always get those two. Maybe
It should be right. You would think it was from the name.
And would. Yearly versus perennial. I think, yeah, maybe that's why I'm having the problem getting repeat flowers.
Mhm.
If you're expecting your annuals to repeat and you're not collecting the seeds, then that's
Right.
your problem.
But again, it's easy.
That's your problem.
You know, it's easy to get confused.
See, this year I'm planting a raised bed vegetable garden. And I haven't done that before. And I just today, Chris and I filled the bed up. I bought 3 cubic yards of this premium mix from a local distributor, like potting soil essentially. And I just filled my garden beds up today.
Very cool.
Because the last frost here is usually March 22nd, and I'm hoping we're done with the deep freezes because Canada's drunk weather needs to get out of my yard.
Did you say Canada's?
Yeah. It's what it feels like. I'm from Texas. It shouldn't be that cold.
Well, I think
I
it was
just seen the map today for Missouri, and they're predicting snow again for March.
Ugh.
Yeah, I'm so over snow.
Yeah, I got some more snow moved in last night. I had to shovel again. I've shoveled more this year than I have in a while. But anyway, it's fine. It's good exercise. I was talking about being tired all the time. I'm increasing my exercise regimen because I had a little scare at the doctors. They thought I had all sorts of problems, you guys, and I never made this public. I just told a couple people. They thought I had the big C in my white blood count and leukemia possibly. So I had to go through all this. Nope, I don't have any of that. Thank the Lord above. That's all great. But how come I'm always tired? I'm never tired in the summer. It's just the winter, maybe the winter doldrums.
The winter blues.
The winter blues. And then Krista did say, well, Rob, you are getting older. Thanks for that, Krista.
You're quite welcome.
So I bought all these vitamins, testosterone, apple cider vinegar. So I'm taking all the supplements. Yeah. I used to take apple cider vinegar and it did wonders on the skin.
So do you just do it like a shot, or how do you do it?
No, I bought them in gummy form. Yeah.
Does it still taste awful?
Tastes great. My gummies, my apple cider vinegars taste like an apple orchard.
Really?
Oh, beautiful. Yeah.
See, I like vinegar. I used to drink shot glasses of vinegar.
Oh, see, I don't. Oh, I can't even stand
vinegar.
Oh, the smell of it.
I've never tried the shot glass vinegar. You know what I do use vinegar for, Monica? Speaking of gardening, I've got a field next to me. And up to my fence line, the weeds grow into my yard, right? And I've got rocks and everything. It's just such a pain in the ass to get the weeds out. I don't care how many chemicals you drop. So I went out. So I was reading online and I bought about 5 gallons of vinegar. And I went on the opposite side into the field and I coated a good 8 to 12 inches out from the fence line into the field and just doused it, whatever you want to call it. And within like 3 or 4 days, that side turned totally like yellow and white and killed everything.
Wow.
If you really, really hate them, you can salt the earth and nothing will grow back. Just get some rock salt and pour it on there.
Well, if I could find some rock salt, because we're sold out here in my state, you can't get any.
Get some Epsom salt. Just
Epsom
salt that criminy out of it.
So I just warm it up in some melted, dissolve it in some warm buckets, start splashing it along the fence.
Put it direct on the soil. I mean,
just the salt itself,
dude. Scorch. I mean, that will literally.
So literally fill up a spreader is what you're saying, and just spread the crap out of it.
Yeah, like you're like you're drawing a salt circle and you're standing in the middle of it for protection. You're drawing a salt line.
And that's
And it will,
cheap.
yeah. And in the
Epsom
meantime,
salt.
it'll keep the demons away too.
Yeah, see,
Oh,
double
yeah. Well,
whammy there.
Double whammy. Well,
Yeah, two
Chris
birds,
knows-
one stone.
There you go.
Krista knows I have demons.
That's just whether you run from them or you cuddle them.
Right.
How you
Right.
I coddle them. I welcome into my home. How
Make
can
them
you?
bring
How
Tony
can you?
down.
How can you not love me, Mr. Demon? I'm BMR, after all.
I'm adorable. I'm adorable.
Yeah.
I'm a big old teddy bear.
Yeah. Just wrap your arms around me. Just don't take me to the pits of hell.
Yeah, that would be frowned upon.
Right.
It wouldn't be nice.
No, that wouldn't be nice.
Not at all.
You're not made for that.
No, I'm not. I'm not built for hell.
You're not. Yeah, you're from Michigan. You're not made for heat.
Well, but I tell you what, I love the heat because I love sweating. Because we do hit the 90-degree. I'm outside. Once May hits, boom, good old BMR's outside all the time when I can be outside.
Yeah.
And I'll sit there and sweat in the shade because we do get 95 degrees in July. And you sweat in the shade, much like in Texas. My friend lives in Austin, Texas. And let me tell you, I visited him like 8 years ago. And I love the heat. I prefer it over the cold weather. I'm like, how can you live here without a swimming pool?
It's miserable.
He never leaves his house. And I don't like
Yeah.
air conditioning I like air conditioning in the summer to cool the house, but I can't sit in there. It just reminds me of the winter all over again.
Well, you can when you live in Texas.
That's
In
why
winter-
Or Missouri. Missouri gets pretty bad. You gotta have.
I don't know that I can live in
imagine.
Texas.
Mhm.
With as much as I love the heat and the weather, I love it. Don't
It's
get
the
me wrong.
humidity.
Is that what it-
Everybody
yeah,
says that, but I'm not
yeah.
kidding.
That's true. Here
The humidity makes it 10 times worse. When I'm in Vegas in the summertime, so yes, I used to have to go there every year for trade shows in
Yeah.
the middle of the summer. I'd be walking down the strip at 1 a.m. It would be like 110, but it was hot, yes, but it wasn't the miserable hot that you would experience in Texas with the 80% humidity. It feels like you're
That's how it is here.
like you're breathing water, essentially, is what it feels like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's awful.
It does get to the point here where you go outside, you can't breathe. You're like laboring for air a lot of times.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And JoJo said humidity is an energy vampire. Yeah, it is. It'll suck it right out of you. It will.
Yep. True story.
No, I'll sit out there in the high temperatures with the humidity and sweat, and I will be miserable. But I'd rather be sitting in that than in the house because you know what happens with me in July. It gets so hot, and I'm outside pretty much just wearing shorts, doing my thing. And then I hate running into the house. If I'm in for 5 minutes, it's almost like you got to put your sweats on
Mhm.
because you go right from that heat to the coldness of the house.
Yeah, but it's so nice.
It's refreshing.
Yeah.
It's refreshing.
It is. It is.
So
Turn the
Yep.
AC on. I've got a hurricane force fan that blows on me at night in the summertime.
a hurricane force. Did you say fan?
Fan,
Yeah.
an oscillating fan.
I also have a commercial grade fan, which I put outside at night, and it
Mhm.
blows all the mosquitoes away. It's so intense
that's
that you don't
pretty
get
smart.
you don't get any mosquitoes, and you can barely hear the blades spinning. So it's a
No,
pretty
I have
nice
to see
one.
which brand that was from you, because that's a good. I have terrible mosquitoes in my backyard. My neighbors are jerks, and they don't clean out their standing water.
Yeah. Aaron's just said September in Missouri is perfect weather. Y'all might as well come over to the Crossing Realms conference. She's right.
Nice, Aaron. I like that one.
Oh.
Yeah, but Monica, it's not a residential fan. They have the fans that are on
Sure.
the commercial grade, and I can send
Probably
you a
the ones
copy
I
of
have
one.
on my sites.
Yeah, and for sure, no mosquitoes.
It's a good
The only
idea.
thing that blows away is the firebugs. I like the firebugs though, because they allegedly eat mosquitoes. But The fan works way better.
Sure.
I also had a bat house in my backyard
It's cool.
that would eat
That is
mosquitoes as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I found
bats
a
are
dead
good.
bat on my steps this past summer. Freaked me out. I
Oh.
didn't know what it died from. It was hanging upside down, clinging to one of, because I have cement steps going up one side of my house. And, anytime I see a bat, I think rabies immediately. Just, like the Goonies when she's like, rabies.
Yep.
So,
I think the rabies, I had every year I have some rodent problem. Last year it was a groundhog. I think what do we call them here? We call them chip. Michigan they call something else, and not groundhogs. Chip. What's that chip thing? It's a chip animal. Wood chip.
Chipmunk?
Woodchucker. I don't know.
Woodchuck?
Woodchuck. Yes. Yeah. But anyway, and he was under my deck, you guys. And I was just building my garden, and that bastard kept tearing up everything. And every time I called our animal inspection unit out, the guy never came out from around the deck. So I set up a trap, never got him. Then I finally went and got some non-harmful or toxic pellets that had this crappy smell that actually the woodchuck or the groundhog it gets to the ground level where it just burns their nose and eyes and they immediately skedaddle. So that worked out.
That's good. Well, every year some varmint crawls under my house and expires. And we get to play.
Oh boy.
My husband gets to, crawl under there because we've got a pier and beam.
The year before last, I had a rat. We don't have rats where I live. I mean, we have a creek, there's rats, but I've never had a rat problem ever. And I was fortunate. I had one rat. I knew it was a rat. I seen him. He's pretty big. And then I put out the rat poison. I have no animals. I said, I'm just going to kill this son of a bitch. But anyways, he died in the middle of my deck, underneath the wood floorboards. Yeah. He had to tear up all the floorboards and get his, I was just going to wait and let him just decompose. It was the middle of summer. That wasn't happening. It smells so too bad.
It's bad here because in the humidity, the scent clings to the moisture molecules and that lingers forever.
Yeah. I don't know. So, but anyway, I'm looking excited. I got that email. Like I said, I'm getting ready. I'm plotting my garden. I already redesigned it every year. Okay. Monica, I'll send you the little map and you can, just offer me the, what you think that I can plant back there. My vegetables always come in good. I have no problems with that. I just kill flowers for whatever reason.
I'll get you some local perennials, some native plants for your region.
Not like bulbs. Are those good to have? Because they come out every year.
Yeah.
And they're hardy too, aren't they?
Usually. Sometimes it depends. Sometimes you have to dig them up, which is a pain. But like tulips, you usually don't have to. They need the snow. They need the cold stratification in order to bloom the next year. So, and peonies are great. And I think that they do well up in your region. I love peonies.
I'm region 6, I think you told me. I knew that anyways. Okay, cool. So anyway.
I got a question for Monica.
Yeah, go ahead.
Are you going to that conference next month? Kling Brothers?
The one, yes, down in Austin.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to know what dates they are because I'll be in California for a week.
It's the very last weekend in March.
Then, yeah, I can go.
You should.
I think I was planning on it, but I can't remember because Tex told me months ago.
Yeah,
good deal. What the date was.
Okay, we'll talk off camera.
Yeah, I won't be making that one.
Unfortunately.
Come on, you want to get out of the snow.
Yep.
Yeah. Well.
Road trip with us because we've got plans to hit Falk and everything that weekend. So you're welcome to fly down here, Rob, and road trip with us.
Well, we'll see. You said that's in March?
Yeah, the last weekend in March.
Well, we'll see.
You should go to Falk at least once. It's a Falcon good time.
It is.
Falcone.
Falcone. There you go.
Scotty.
Thank you, Scott.
Five new pirates. Arr! Melissa Cornweather throws in the BMR. Thank you, Scott. Appreciate that. And with that being said, I think we'll why don't we do a little bizarre news to get this this deal rolling here.
Roll with it.
Let's do it.
Let's see what we can do here. Yeah, I guess I gotta condense this. I always say that too. I gotta stop saying that. Oh, here we go. The bizarre news, everybody. One of the first items with the bizarre news, we did something similar to this several weeks ago. I don't know if Krista was there. I know it really creeped out Monica, but this is something equally as creepy. And I do have a picture. And this is a creepy synthetic human. They call it the proto-clone. It's just another step toward the T800.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, you've seen this, eh?
I saw it.
Okay, well, really good. You see everything. I mean, you're like, you should just do this in place of me, Monica. Oh, you know all my stories in advance.
No, I don't.
A company in Poland has created a humanoid robot with lifelike synthetic muscles and translucent skin. In the Terminator movies, Arnold Schwarzenegger's T-800 is comprised of a solid metal endoskeleton surrounded by living tissue, giving him the appearance of a normal human. Now, Polish startup Clone Robotics has come up with a prototype for a new type of robot that could easily be imagined as a stepping stone towards something very similar to the T-800. Known as Proto-Clone, the robot has been described as a synthetic human that has a body that looks a lot like an actual human, flesh with synthetic muscles, skin and muscles that are very eerily lifelike looking. And there's released footage on YouTube, everybody. I can't show the video, blah, blah, blah. You guys know why. But the prototype can be seen suspended from an apparatus while its limbs flail, moving around disconcertingly, but realistically in a realistic manner. Kind of out of control, which many scientists believe could lead to some issues with human beings. The fact that its head is just a black visor and little else doesn't exactly help. Describing the firm as the world's first bipedal muscular skeletal android, Proto-Clone takes a different approach to most modern robots by trying to emulate the muscles, joints, and ligaments of an actual human body. The Proto-Clone is a faceless, anatomically accurate synthetic human with over 200 degrees of freedom, over 1,000 MIBO fibers for all you science junkies, and over 200 sensors, the firm writes. The current version is powered by pneumatics, but there are plans to switch to hydraulics. Whether or not Proto-Clone represents the future of robotics, however, first remains to be seen. And I do have a snapshot of this really briefly. Okay, here we go. Okay, here we go.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it's kind of weird looking. I mean, it's not really
some janky angles on the arm there.
Yeah,
that's kind of weird.
Yeah, I mean, it somewhat looks like a human. I mean, janky is a good word, Monica. I mean, I don't know.
It looks like somebody broke his bones and reset them.
Yeah. It kind of reminds
me
on
both arms.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of a version of the Frankenstein's monster.
Yeah. All I can say is I've seen that horror movie. I'm not interested.
Yeah.
You've seen that horror.
Yeah, I've seen that horror movie. I don't want it to play out in real life. I'm not interested. They need to stop inventing crap. They need to
I gotta
stop.
tell you, and I've seen the YouTube video. It's very it's not very fluid in its movements, which lends it to being extremely creepy. You know, I gotta tell you guys, it probably I would not want to go to like a McDonald's. Well, right now you can't even go inside where I live. It's not because of COVID. It's just because they did away with employees. You have to go in and use the kiosk or go through the drive.
Right.
But I can see the day where they have these sorts of robots, kind of like AI, you guys, taking over jobs and doing the work that a person can do. Don't know how accurate they can do it, probably really accurately. That's what I'm scared most about in the future for our kids, right?
Right.
Jobs are going to be sparse, I think, in another.
Yep.
They're getting sparse already.
They are.
I think it's just creepy. You get Uncanny Valley looking at it. You're familiar with Uncanny Valley?
You know I'm not, Monica.
Come on, Rob. So
you might have to send me a library of things I need to watch because, no.
Well, it's a phrase, right? And it's a feeling of like unease that you get when you encounter something that is almost human. It looks human, but not quite. There's just enough off to give you a kind of unsettling feeling.
Oh, Uncanny Valley, you said.
Yes. Oh, yes. Uncanny Valley.
I'm sorry.
What did you think I said?
Valley of the Dolls, very similar movie. I know Uncanny Valley is not a movie, but Valley of the Dolls just kind of reminds me of this robotic creature.
I mean,
till the skin melts
off. When I first saw it, right? So in the video, they have it kind of hanging there, and it's kind of like a marionette just kind of jumping around. I thought it was an art performance. I thought it was some guy they had in a white bodysuit strung up at first. Because I just glanced at this video. I wasn't paying attention to any text that went along with it. And I didn't have the volume on. And then when I realized it was a droid, essentially, I was like, no. I mean, when does Skynet become self-aware? I mean, we're just screaming towards that point in time.
I agree. And I got to tell you guys, just overall, I don't want to be dealing with any robot in my lifetime. I don't want to be talking to a robot to perform a service, to fix my car, do my gardening, work on the assembly line. Now, robotics is on the assembly line, but they're just machines. One of the things I hated about my job when I worked at Ford, when I first started, I got the job right out of school, and I was there 20 years, and after my 10th year, my new job was to get with engineering and figure out how to deplete the workforce. Hey, Rob, we got to cut 150 heads by 2019. Okay, how do you propose I do that? Well, you get with engineering, and we're going to come up with programs to replace humans with robotics. And we use Fanuc robots at the time. And that's why I kind of started wanting to make a career change, because I also was the guy to give them all pink slips when we brought the robotics in. I know it's way of the world. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Tech is tech, but
that still stinks.
It does stink. And I always had to give them on Christmas Day.
That's awful.
They told you to do it on Christmas?
Yeah, we'd have everybody come in for the party on Christmas Day, and as we got them all drunk, we gave them the pink slip.
Oh, you're BSing.
That's even worse. That is evil.
I'm not making that up, Krista. We did that.
I don't think you are.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, I swear on the Bible.
Well, good thing I don't own a Ford then.
Yeah, fix or repair daily.
No, I don't buy Fords, and I buy it used to be Chrysler, whatever it is today, Stellantis. I've been buying those. I like Dodge trucks. That's what I get. So
I have a Dodge truck and a Buick something and I got a Jeep.
I like the
got
Jeep
Japanese
brand. I like the Jeep brand. I like the Dodge vehicles, the cars. The muscle cars are pretty cool. And they're still affordable.
Mhm.
But the cars.
The car.
Anyway, the car. Vroom. I can't do that anymore, though. I get too many tickets. But moving on. We've got another bizarre news. This is kind of cool. I remember we like talking. We've been talking a lot lately about the oceans. How we all, Krista does not want to ever go in the ocean. I think Monica, you're pretty much the same. I was
No, I've
a
been there.
fan. I wanted to be an oceanographer, as I told you guys, growing up, and then I found out they didn't really make any money, so to speak. So I kind of said, well, I'm going to do something else. So this is something, I got a picture of this one as well. A rare black sea devil fish filmed near the ocean surface for the very first time. A terrifying predator of the deep sea has been sighted in the much shallower waters than ever before. Typically found thousands of feet beneath the surface of the sea, this horrifying fish, which sports a gaping mouth, huge teeth, and a glowing appendage designed to lure in unsuspecting prey, has become synonymous with a mysterious alien-like denizens of the deep ocean. Just recently, however, one of these creatures was spotted, not in the gloomy depths, but in shallow waters off the coast of Tenerife in Spain, where it was captured on camera by marine photographer David Jara during a shark research project. He goes on to say that this could be the first recorded sighting in the world of a black demon or adult abysmal. And then they gave the scientific name of a Melanchidius janacele. Blah, blah, blah.
It's an anglerfish.
Yeah, it was alive. They found this alive and in broad daylight on the surface. He writes, a legendary fish that few people have had the privilege of observing is alive. It isn't clear exactly why the fish has traveled so far from its typical habitat. One possibility is that it was suffering from some form of an illness, while another is that it had been attempting to outrun another, a much larger predator. Either way is a very scary and unusual sighting. And yeah, here it is, you guys. And I got to tell you what, don't think I'm going in the ocean.
It is terrifying.
Oh, that is creepy.
Yeah, it looks like it's facing to the left, but it's actually pointed upwards.
Yeah.
You'd have to rotate it to the right to get it.
Yes, I think it's going to the surface, perhaps. Yeah,
it is. But also, they're not that big.
No? How big are they?
Put the screen down. I'll show you. I don't know. What, they're this big. They're like this big.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
They're not big.
Oh, so the scale on that kind of.
You look through the images for that, there's an image of somebody, the guy who took that photo. Somebody took a picture of him taking that photo. The fish is not that big.
Oh, well,
wow.
Maybe not as scary. Hell,
I mean, they're still scary. You know what's really scary is how they mate. The male of that species attaches itself to the female, and she absorbs them into her skin. Yeah,
he dies then.
Yeah.
Well, kind of like the praying mantis eats the male.
Yeah.
After they court.
Well, yeah, but the female doesn't just glob onto him like
no. I mean, it's absorbed. No, I mean that's even. I don't know which is like worse, being eaten or.
It's like the thing in the abysmal plane.
Oh.
That's crazy. Wonder what the purpose is of that. You know what I'm saying?
I know.
Like why?
So, I mean, let me ask you this then. So that's the female that does it to the male, absorbs it into her body.
Yeah, Google it. Look at anglerfish. Yeah,
So how do they reproduce? If this seems to me, all the males would be.
They willingly throw themselves at these females. Like, yeah. The ocean is full of crazy things. So the mantis shrimp. Have you guys heard of that? The mantis shrimp.
That's something I've heard of. Yes,
it's got the most powerful strike in the animal kingdom.
I didn't know that. Wow.
Yeah, it's like the way it just hammers is like incredible, like for its body mass, like the I don't know, the impact, whatever they calculate is crazy. And apparently it can see colors that we can't see.
Wow.
It's got the ability to see a whole spectrum of colors that human eyes can't comprehend.
Interesting. Yeah, there's just too much in the ocean that'll kill you. So
Yeah.
I've been in the ocean and I just have no desire. Give me the mountains any day.
I still love the look of the ocean. I would still go on a boat on the ocean. There's no doubt I would. Swimming in the ocean, no. I don't even like swimming in our man-made lakes around here.
If I can't see the bottom, I don't want to go into it, which limits me to like Hawaii and the swimming pool. And
well,
even
Monica,
when
you have
Hawaii,
alligators down there, so I get that. Not being able to see like where you're at, because you guys got stuff down there that'll kill you too in your ponds.
Oh yeah, but I mean, well, I grew up in California, right? I grew up in the Red Triangle, like the beaches up in Northern California. We couldn't go out in the water. It was we were always like, that's why I love the ocean. I love being at the beach.
Yeah,
but I don't want to be in the dark water because I was told from a small age, like it'll kill you. There's great whites all over the place out there. Yep. The undertow will kill you if hypothermia doesn't get you.
Well, I got as a young guy, my 20s, when I was in Florida, we were doing that the body surfing out there, and we were at the hotel. I think my hotel was whatever it was. It's called Hotel BMR. I don't know. So we're in front of Hotel BMR, and we're out body surfing, doing our thing. Me and my buddy Mike, having a blast, but you get that big wave hits you, it blasts you literally into the bottom of the sand, and you're out of control, and you just get grinded into the sand and all this. But we were guys, we thought it was cool. I mean, today I wouldn't think it's cool, but we just kept doing it, and all of a sudden we started getting tired, and we're like, yeah, let's get up back, go back to the beach, go back, to our area. Then we get up, then we're getting toward the shoreline. That we realize that we're not even anywhere close to a Hotel BMR. We're like a mile off course. We're down like way to the right of where our hotel was, because we didn't realize that current, every time you go out, and you don't even realize it.
Swimming in the ocean's no joke. You think you're swimming, you swim and swim and swim and swim. You went like 3 feet because of the current.
No.
Yeah.
Yep.
If you ever get trapped, if you ever fall off a ship or a boat in the ocean, you don't swim forward. What you have to do is turn your body sideways and kind of go with the current. That is allegedly, I don't know if it's proven, it gets you closer to shore.
It gets you out of a rip current for sure.
Yeah.
You swim parallel to the shore.
Yes.
Yeah. And it'll get you out of the rip currents. But if you fall off a ship, swim like hell away from the ship so you don't get pulled under and into the propellers.
Yeah.
True story.
Don't think anybody has the strength or the speed of swimming to get away from that.
Yeah, I don't think so either, but at least make an effort.
Try to.
Stay on the boat. Stay on the ship. That's my advice.
I like a pool. I'll just stick with the pool.
Yeah, pools are good. The sand at the beach is nice.
No, I like the beach. I like looking at the ocean, smelling the salt water. Then I revert back to the hotel with the bar and the pool out there, But one thing that I hated about the lake, I was fishing with my brother. I told you guys about the story about where our boat was sinking.
The boat was sinking?
With me and the fishing.
Yeah, you did. I heard. I think
so.
Yeah, so we're on it was sinking. I'm like, I look at my brother, like the movie Jaws. Hey man, I think we're sinking. He goes, yeah, I think we are. And we had the bilge plug was plugged in, and anyway, we went like on a 90 degree, and we're going down like this. So we unplugged it and we leveled off. Crazy story. We were like, oh, okay, well, wear the life jackets. Well, we didn't bring them. Oh, great. So anyway. Another thing, though, that was really scary, which I will never go to lake again, is because that's the next day we went out again. And so he's bringing, and we were both novices with boating, so he wasn't that good at docking the boat. We had to go between the actual launch area where the dock is and this and that. So he's kind of coming in on a weird angle. So I get out at the front of the boat and I have one foot on like the bow, on like the top of the boat at like where everyone knows doesn't know what the bow is, at the point. My foot's there and I had my right leg extended out as far as I can to get to the dock, and I try to get my toes on it, kind of pull the boat, close to the dock. And I start succeeding. It's getting closer and closer and closer. But now I get it right there, and there's about a 1 foot gap. Then for whatever, my left foot gave out, and I slipped, and I fell straight down between the boat and the deck. The dock, straight down.
Oh.
Did not hit the boat or the deck, luckily. But what happened, you guys, is when I fell down into this area, it was nothing but this cold muck. Seaweedy, dark muck. And when I hit it, it wasn't thick. It was kind of like, not like a thick cement, but it was like quicksand, because I proceeded to plunge down and it went past my knees.
Oh, it sucked you into the bottom?
Yeah. And I'm looking up.
Oh, that's gross. That would freak me out.
Listen, you guys, but listen though, that was freaky. It was cold and slimy, but I can't escape from it. And I'm now trying to break free and swim to the top of the surface. And I'm thinking I'm going to drown.
Sure.
And my brother, wherever the hell he was, is getting to the front of the boat where he, and then all of a sudden I'm kind of slowly just swimming, taking my arms and going down, doing this paddle down to my sides and just trying to do it that way. And my feet and legs won't move. And I'm looking up, my eyes are open, and my hands, I'm getting a little closer, but I'm losing oxygen. I was underneath for a while. I'm wondering, where's my brother? Why didn't he dive in here and just lift my ass out, right? He's panicking, I guess. I don't know. So all of a sudden I see a bunch of dudes. They came into my vision, and some guy reached down. He was able to grab my arm and pull me up, but it took two guys to pull me out. Two pretty big guys, strong guys, to pull me out and release me from that mucky BS in the bottom of the.
What was it? Was it just like a?
It was a slimy green ass muck of some
sediment,
sort.
Probably just
sediment.
Like,
that was just kind of lingering around the bottom of the dock where you set your boat in. And I thought you guys, I thought I was a goner. I really
that is
did.
Scary.
I was scared because I was getting close to running out of air.
That's like the quicksand scares, like watching Tarzan as a child. I really thought quicksand was going to be an issue in my adult life. Watching the stuff that I watched growing up.
Well, that's no quicksand. It reminded me of quicksand, but it wasn't sucking me down. But I was just boom. But so yeah, I'm not swimming in the lakes anymore. Let's see. Well, we're gonna move on from that.
You know what? I got a gross story about a lake too.
Go ahead. We're on the lakes.
A lot of people have heard of Lake of the Ozarks here in Missouri.
Mm-hmm.
That is the nastiest water you could ever swim in. My dad had a house down there on the lake. And back in the day, they had a big thing with the Department of Natural Resources because it's all full of houses all over it. And we all know waste goes downward. So there was a big thing where all these houses, their waste went into Lake of the Ozarks and people swim in that still.
Oh,
yeah. I know,
really?
It's disgusting. Yeah. You couldn't pay me to swim in
That
Lake
happened
of the
at the
Ozarks.
Russian River because there's septic tanks out there, and some of those, it's a total hippie town out there. But a lot of people still used cesspools, like old school cesspools, and they were leaching into the Russian River. And so, it was and I used to swim in that when I was a kid. And when that came out, the EPA was, I think it was the EPA or somebody was doing
Yeah.
found out that it was like leaching into the Russian River. I was like, oh God, where?
Yeah.
where is it? Is it upriver, downriver? Like, where was it?
Jesus.
It's gross.
Yeah. Where to get off that topic? Yeah, I'm just
Yeah.
as much as I love the water. This one isn't so bizarre, you guys. This is kind of weird. Mermaid is attacked by a giant fish. Another fish story. Another water story in a viral video on YouTube. A woman dressed as a mermaid was performing at an aquarium when a large fish almost swallowed up her head. In a scene you definitely won't see in Disney and classic animated films, The Little Mermaid, a woman who was performing as a mermaid at an aquarium found her entire head being engulfed by the huge mouth of a Chinese sturgeon. When the animal unexpectedly swam up behind her. The bizarre incident, which was caught, of course, on YouTube and also in China's Ujibagana Primitive Forest Park, where the mermaid Mireia Zalinia was performing an aquatic show. While submerged underwater, she was suddenly approached by the huge fish, which came right up behind her and attempted to eat her, swallowing up her head in the process. Fortunately, the young woman was able to break free and swim to the surface after just a few seconds. She goes on to say to People magazine, we had a show. The show must go on, this, that, and the other. She says she did. Yeah, go off the bang. There you go. So much for break a leg, lose a head. I didn't understand what was going on. I began to push her away and get out of its mouth. When I surfaced, I realized I didn't have my glasses on. I was shocked. I couldn't see. Other than
That's
that,
a modern day Moby Dick, isn't it?
yeah. Other than that, she was unscathed
Job and the whale, right?
in the process.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would be done with my shift immediately following that incident.
Yeah.
The show can kiss my butt.
I would.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have punched out, never to return.
Yeah, right.
You know. I got one last one. I have two more, but we're running. I got another story I want to tell you guys that you guys are gonna dig, I think. But there's one other one which is kind of funny. It's a funny one. No pictures on this one, but I just thought it was kind of funny, and I'm gonna present this. I have another Bigfoot one, but I don't want to do that one because we're running out of time already. We've been doing this an hour, 50 minutes at least. We got to condense these. Here we go. Hang on a second, you guys. Ooh, I gotta scroll and find it.
I just got a message from Brandi. She said her alarm didn't go off.
Well,
let her rest.
Well, let her rest. It's all right. We can handle it.
I just told her to hop on.
No, well, you can. If you want, she can. Okay. So this is not a Bigfoot encounter, everybody, but this has to do with Bigfoot. And I do not like parodies of Bigfoot. None of us do, because I think they exist, this, that, and the other. But this I do find funny. Man's Bigfoot expeditions used against him in a spousal support case. The hunt for evidence of Sasquatch became the unexpected focus of a court case in British Columbia recently. According to reports, a man who had separated from his wife in 2020 will not be entitled to spousal support because his Bigfoot hunting expeditions have demonstrated that he is fit enough to work. The bizarre case, which was heard at a court in British Columbia, had looked at whether or not the 57-year-old was entitled to receive spousal support payments from his ex-wife. One of the reasons for the divorce was that he had discovered he had taken an ex-girlfriend along on an expedition to search for Bigfoot on Vancouver Island without even telling her. The respondent was extremely upset by this, said Justice Robin Baird. Before the claimant returned home, she fired off a text to him declaring that the marriage was over and that she never changed her mind. The man's spousal support claim hinged on his assertion that he was unable to work after he slipped on ice and sustained numerous injuries sustained back in 2016. Again, while looking for the elusive Bigfoot. The judge, however, was not convinced that he was injured so badly that he couldn't work because he had since embarked on numerous other expeditions. The claimant continues to enjoy camping, fishing, this, that, and the other. I accept that he is no longer suited to work, requiring a lot of physical strength or stamina, this, that, and the other. The divorce was granted, but neither the man nor his wife were awarded any spousal support or legal costs. Kind of when you think you heard them all, when this guy was kind of a pimp, trying to get out of something, I get it.
She was digging deep.
So do we know him? Because we know so many people that go out in the woods.
Boy.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Let it be somebody I don't like.
Right.
I can't see your guys' faces when I'm reading that. Scott says Monica was ready to bust out laughing. That was just funny. I had to throw that in there tonight.
That's petty. It's so.
It is.
But I respect petty sometimes. I respect it.
Petty is
Sometimes
funny.
you gotta be petty.
Petty can't work. Petty can't work sometimes.
But by golly, you can go Bigfoot hunting.
You can sure work if you can get out there and look for Bigfoot. You can get your butt out there and make some money.
I gotta agree with the wife though.
Well, I gotta tell you though, Chris, I was about to say, if you go out, going out looking for Bigfoot, it ain't no. I mean, you're working, you're hiking, you're traveling.
You're hoofing it. I mean, if you're doing it right.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
You have to be in somewhat shape. It's not unless you're going to put up a tent and sleep all day and not venture out of camp. If you're on the trail, you're cutting through brush. If you're adventurous, you go off trail. I mean, you gotta.
There's all different ways to do it. I mean, he could have done it moderately, where you like anybody can do it. Like anybody can do it, or you can trailblaze and start cutting paths through forest where nobody's been.
That guy just don't want a job. That's all.
Well, yeah, you kind of was a little.
I can't say that I blame him. I'd love to not have one either, but I like to eat.
Listen, yeah, I mean,
right, me too. I like a roof over my head,
Yeah, clothes, warmth,
Yep.
I dig it.
Yep.
I just thought that was funny. I get it. We could go on and on about that scenario, that subject. But yeah. So I got a story I'm going to share with you guys, which you guys are going to like. It's going to be, I assume you're going to like it anyway. It's kind of little histories involved. There's a little paranormal activity, and it does involve a little Bigfoot activity, perhaps.
Cool.
Well, with that being said, I got to take care, so I'll be back in about 45 seconds. And you guys can just, chit chat with our guests.
Chat amongst ourselves.
Yes, there you go.
Amongst ourselves. I was just be like, who's our
totally
guest?
took himself off the script. Okay.
Yeah, he did.
Okay. I'm just curious what he can do in 45 seconds.
Or what he's doing in 45 seconds.
Maybe he's grabbing something to drink. I need to go grab something to drink too.
I always make me a fresh thing of tea before I do any show.
I normally do that, and tonight I did not. And I tried to text my son to bring me some water, and I don't know what he's doing. He sure isn't answering my text message.
Put yourself on mute and be like, "Hey, bring me a water."
I don't even think I'm trying to look through the doors into the living room. I don't even think he's in there. I think he went to bed.
Donnie says I can do plenty of things in 45 seconds.
I bet you can, Donnie.
Yeah, exactly. Well, if anybody said, go ahead, Monica. What were you gonna say?
Oh, I just said most men can. You're just
yeah,
perfect.
right there. You go. Now, if anybody's going to be in the Shirts, Texas area next month, the end of next month, I think it's like the 28th and 29th or 29th or something like that of March. Come down to the Kling Brothers Lone Star Paracon. And there's some pretty cool speakers going to be there too. So, and Monica will be there.
Yeah.
I'll be there. Brandi will be there. Tex will be there. And yeah, I don't know who else is going offhand. Do you?
I don't know off the top of my head, but I mean, just Tex and you and Brandi and me, that's a good time right there.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. So come and see us. And I know Ken is one of those that's speaking, and Anne is going to be there. So she's just a real sweetheart. So look forward to seeing her too. So it'd be fun. So if you guys are in Church, Texas, come on over. We were trying to figure out what you were doing in 45 seconds.
I have everything timed out perfectly. You know me. Got it down to a science now. Thanks to everybody for coming on in for our little show tonight, late night. Thank you really quickly. I know. Oh, someone started something. Scott for gifting 5 BMR Pirates, and some Monica's stepping away for a moment. Scotty for gifting 5 Bigfoot Michigan Rob memberships. Thanks, Scotty. He's also become a new member. I thought you were a member, but thank you, Scott. Yeah, Scott's been a member for 13 months. Yay, Scott, 13 months.
Good deal.
That's awesome. And also thank you to Kelly Sandford for her awesome super chat. Thank you, Kelly, for that.
Thank you.
I appreciate the super chats, the memberships. Not expected, you guys. It's always appreciated. Thank you ever so much.
Can you answer the question real quick? And
Yeah.
then get rid of it. There it is. BMR, are you still going to sell your books at Barnes and Nobles? I have your first book, but not the second. And Carla Washington asked that question.
Thank you, Carla, for buying the first book. I appreciate you. Leave a review if you would. That helps promote the sales. I've been trying to get into Barnes and Noble for about 6 to 8 months. And Amazon's blocking them.
Really?
Yes, they are.
That's a malarkey.
Kind of. Well, because here's the thing, they're not going to make any money off of it. I was just going to supply them with like 20 books, sell them to them at it costs, and we split the proceeds. Nope, they want every dime. So that's kind of sucks.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yep.
So as I was telling you guys, moving forward with this show, I'm going to start talking a little more about hauntings in Michigan. The creatures that roam all the Great Lakes, the haunted lighthouses, the lands, the cursed lands that are off the shorelines. And I found this to be pretty this is a combination. This is one experience for these two guys. But as I was digging through and doing some research on some things about this area, it kind of ties together, and I think there's some certain elements that match up here. And this takes place in a place I'm actually very familiar with in the state of Michigan. They call it the River Raisin, or the Raisin River. It's in Monroe County, Michigan. And I have to give some history on this because there was a battle that was fought there. And then I'm thinking about this battle, and then I'm looking at this guy's encounter that he had, and I think there's kind of ties. I think they tie in. They're related in some.
So what from what war or what battle was it?
Thank you for asking. This was the battle of the French this is the War of the Frenchtown Battle. Frenchtown Battle in 1812. It was a battle between Great Britain and the United States. And so there's ongoing war amongst the colonies, right? The colonists of the 1800s. So there was a war here in the state of Michigan. Today it's called Monroe County. I forget what it was called way back in the 1800s. Monroe County did not exist. However, there was this battle, and what had happened was the British enlisted the tribe of the Potawatomi tribe, and the Potawatomi tribe was led by Chief Water Walker. Chief Water Walker. Okay.
Mhm.
So they got together. The British got with this tribal nation, and they did a surprise attack at the United States camp, and they massacred. Literally took the soldiers by surprise and massacred many of our soldiers back in the day.
Mhm.
The war goes on to end, I think, in 1815. So as this war ends, a lot of the soldiers from the infantry that were the survivors of this massacre. I gotta turn this off. Don't know how that happened. Got this damn bright light. Hang on. So anyway, so these leftover soldiers from the massacre, they decided that they were going to take they went rogue. They became they weren't really fugitives. They were left, the war ended, but they became like bounty hunters, or they
Mhm.
became gangsters of of the West, or whatever, of Michigan in the 1800s. So they went out looking for this tribe, and they wanted to take down Chief Water Walker and his tribe. So they went on this journey to find the tribe. They found the chief wherever they were residing, camping, whatever in their community. And these men, a band of 12, 15 men, they surprised them, and they killed the chief, women, children, everybody. So allegedly there was a curse or something sent on. They said that the chief would come back in tenfold, and he would haunt the lands of this part of the Raisin River, the stretch in which these Indians were all massacred by the Americans. So he would come back and take different forms and different shapes: ghostly, creatures of the night, bear, lynx, Sasquatch, all of these things as a apparent shapeshifter, and he would curse the land, and he would extract his vengeance. So that's kind of, and again, this is like a long story, so I'm giving everybody the kind of condensed version. So we have the war. The British, with his tribe, massacred the Americans. War ends. Leftover soldiers want to go find out and seek this tribe and extract them, which they successfully did. Then all of a sudden, boom, a curse allegedly was put on this section of the River Raisin. So if we expedite this to the year of 2084, and I did do some research, this section of the Raisin River, and I golfed out here too, you guys, and this is way back before I was into the paranormal, so I've been there. Very beautiful place, this, that, and the other. But allegedly, there's a lot of haunted mystery behind this section where this alleged chief was taken out, right, by the soldiers. So a lot of hauntings, little frightening experiences. So these guys, Bill and John, they're canoeing down this section of the Raisin River. And now the Raisin River, for everybody, the Raisin River is about 1,200 miles. It extends through many tributaries. It dumps into Lake Erie. It feeds a lot of the lakes, surrounding lakes. And so these guys they're canoeing, and it's evening time. Now, parts of the river is very hard to traverse through because there's a lot of brush, standing brush. It's very shallow. A lot of times your canoe might just end up on a sandbar or get caught up on a stump. So it's a section. There's certain sections that it's tough to navigate through. So these guys are in that particular section, and they get caught up on a tree from the bottom, some bark, whatever it is, some brush. They get caught up on this canoe. They get caught up with the canoe gets caught up on the brush. So, and as they're stuck there, they heard all these weird whispers and sounds coming from the tree line because the river is running through the forest, the tree line of the river. Very disturbing, haunting growls, and these guys are getting frightened. They get out of the canoe and they dislodge it from what they're hung up on, and they continue down the river and trying to seek their way out of there and to get away from all these apparently trees that are in the bottom, all this brush and such, to get out of there. So they finally kind of break free. Then they end up on. They get stuck again. They get stuck again. They're like, damn, man. And they're, frustrated. They don't get a chance to get out of the canoe because now their canoe is now being elevated up out of the water 12, 18 inches. And they don't know what to think of this. And as the canoe is getting elevated, they're thinking that they just get on some underbrush that was a thick tree that all of a sudden kind of broke loose and was coming up out of the water and pushing them up. They just had no idea. I mean, I don't know what they're processing, but they're coming out of the water, and they get dumped, and the canoe gets spilled over and dumped, and these guys fall out of the canoe. The canoe is upsided, and the canoe is now kind of floating away from them. And they look up and they see what they say is a bear. It was a big, huge animal, they said. It had his backside to them, and it was meandering away from them toward the shoreline, 4 legs, a big black mass. And as it's walking, all of a sudden, it kind of gets upright as it's getting to the shoreline and gets up bipedally and kind of walks out. But it walks out very fluid. We've all seen bears in videos walking. We know they don't walk with any grace. They're just kind of all over the place. But this bear, they said, from the backside, mind you, was very graceful and very powerful and is walking up and out. And as they're looking at this object, which they assume was a bear, but now they're thinking bears cannot walk that way, then all of a sudden the bear starts to transform a little bit. They said the bear started to get a little translucent, and now the bear starts to lose the fur and starts to take another shape. And they said it took the shape of what they said was a Native American individual dressed in this headgear. And now it becomes translucent and ghost-like. And this figure, clearly now a human, turns around, sporting this beautiful headgear with the paint on the face, stares at them, turns around, continues to walk up to the rest of the shoreline, out of the shoreline, and evaporates into the mist. So, as I'm reading about this massacre, I'm reading about this chief walking on water, about the alleged curse in this area, and I've done other research into this, and yes, there are a lot of hauntings in this particular area. This particular one that I happen to found and tell you guys, to me, kind of matches up a little bit. I don't know if it's this actual chief. I don't know what went down here. I wasn't there. This is a story that I've seen. And to me, it makes some sense. Do I believe it? Well, I don't know. That's always up for debate. So what do you guys think about that?
I think it sounds like a skinwalker to me. But transformed.
Well, here's the thing. Yeah, They thought it was a bear. Looked very solid.
Hmm.
Thought it was a bear from the backside, but couldn't tell. Got up and started walking. And then, yeah, transformed, got very translucent, turned humanish. Human, looked like he had the human appearance of this
Hmm.
chief, right? Dressed in the full garb. So, yeah, perhaps. Shapeshifter, perhaps.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought it was very
Mon-
fascinating. Very fascinating. And it is, and I did look into a bunch of other things that I'll talk about down the road. It is this section of this river had a lot of bizarre hauntings and experiences with
Mhm.
not only ghosts, but also there's been some noted Sasquatch
Gotcha.
accounts there. If you look on the BFRO, because I kind of looked that up as well, and there was 3
Mhm.
in the last 8 years. So I don't know. I think that's a good point. Shapeshifter, Skinwalker, Krista,
I
Monica,
don't know.
you want to say something? What's your thoughts?
We can't hear you.
Monica, you must be on mute again. Or maybe your earbuds in the other room are buzzing.
Right? Maybe my earbuds off. No, somehow the mute on the microphone got pushed, but I didn't do that. Okay.
Of course you didn't.
Of course I didn't. I don't know what to think of that because skinwalkers don't typically transform into like full
Human.
war bonnet face paint regalia.
Mhm.
They do. They will switch over into human, but they'd look like everybody else. They wouldn't try to stand out by wearing the full garb, and they wouldn't be invisible. So,
Yeah.
right.
Well-
they wouldn't be translucent. They wouldn't be translucent. Let me put it that way.
So translucent would not apply to the skinwalker. That's almost like a physicality, a physical being you're looking at with the
Yeah,
skinwalker.
they are physical like you and me. They're people.
Mhm.
They're witches. They're very evil. What you have to do is so beyond disgusting. But they're people.
Mhm.
Uh,
Don't they have to to break the curse? And I could be wrong on this. Like, have to unalive like their family member or something.
That's the Wendigo.
well,
I
yeah,
think.
to bring the power in.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have to unalive a close family member. It can't be like your
Right.
6 cousins.
Now, is that the skinwalker we're talking about on a live people?
skinwalkers.
Yeah, I thought so. Mhm.
You have to do that. You have to consume a corpse.
Now, would that be the same thing as you guys have heard the Wendigo? Obviously, is a Wendigo? Is
It's
that
totally different.
no, but they don't have. But don't they have to consume flesh?
You become possessed by a Wendigo by consuming human flesh, and it makes you weak, and by participating in cannibalism, it weakens your spirit, and you're able to be possessed by the Wendigo. And the Wendigo takes over, and that's all you want to do is eat, consume. Like you're never full, you're never satisfied. You just want to eat, but you never get like sustenance from it. Like you waste away. Like true, like Wendigos are like so emaciated, like looking that it's when they turn sideways, they almost turn invisible. They're so thin, and they're fast. They're fast. You know how they're spirit like in that they travel like insanely fast. Then I've heard stories where their feet are fire because they're moving so fast. Yeah, so but they're totally different things. Like the person who turns into or is possessed by a Wendigo doesn't necessarily look for that to happen. You are actively trying to be a skinwalker. You don't just accidentally whoopsie-doo turn into a skinwalker.
Right.
So
like you're actively trying to do that.
So a skinwalker, you're actively trying to become one. A Wendigo is more of a curse.
Yeah. It's more of a possession. Yeah.
Gotcha.
And people talk. I heard people talking about the Wendigo. Is that a fallacy? The Wendigo is not walking around with horns and antlers on his head.
I think people are. I mean, I'm not discounting anybody's like stories. I think people are seeing these things, but I think what they're seeing in that case is an egregore where they've been portrayed as this thing in several movies, and people believe what they see in movies. And the masses see this and they're like, oh, that's a Wendigo. So the masses believe in that, and the masses manifest it into something physical. So I think that if you're seeing something with the antlers and the white milky eyes walking on two legs, I don't doubt you're seeing something, but it's not a traditional Wendigo.
Wow.
What are they supposed to look like from your?
They look like you and me. I mean, the spirits are huge. They're tall. They're big. But a person that is possessed by Wendigo looks like you and me. But they'll eventually start eating like their fingertips and the skin around their mouths.
A Wendigo.
A Wendigo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the person. That's the actual entity itself, or whatever you want to call it, is eating itself. Its fingers.
Well, it's making the person they're inhabiting eat. Like you just want to eat all the time. No.
Yeah.
Consume, but you get no nourishment from it.
I gotta look into that a little bit further because I always get confused with that. No, I mean really about the Wendigo and the
Skinwalker.
Yeah, and the Skinwalker is wants to be a Skinwalker.
Yeah, Skinwalker wants to be a Skinwalker. That's somebody you don't just trip into it. Whoopsie! I said the wrong thing, and I'm a Skinwalker now. That doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the shapeshifter would just be something that transforms into whatever they want, an animal of some sort or what have you.
Yeah, I mean, that's a magic for sure. I mean, but Skinwalkers, supposedly have the ability to shift into animal forms, right?
Yeah.
For sure. But what I'm saying is, in this case, in your story, the dude was in full regalia, apparently.
Yeah, he was.
He was translucent. Skinwalkers, number one, wouldn't try to stand out in the crowd. They try to blend in. That's their thing, is they want to blend in. And they wouldn't be translucent in any kind of translucent. So I think it was, maybe it was an entity of some kind. I mean, because Krista knows ghosts can look just as real as you and me, and then they fade into nothing. Yeah. So, maybe that's how it wanted you, or it wanted them to perceive it initially, was as a bear. And as it was fading, it let go and transform back into a human shape.
And maybe the bear wasn't physical. They thought it was for sure a bear that kind of lifted up out of the water. But Krista, entities or ghosts can be physical in stature.
Yeah.
Yeah, full-bodied apparition walked right by you, and
you wouldn't even know it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. They look solid as can be.
Yep.
See, the ghosts I've always saw were always translucent, never solid.
They don't have to be.
Now I saw the phantom car that I saw. That was solid. That would look like a car rolling up behind me. Like I couldn't see through it at all.
There you go. They can portray how they want to portray.
Mm-hmm.
So these guys, they probably experienced some sort of it had been a ghost-like entity.
I think it was a ghost, personally.
If they're lucky, it was a ghost.
Yeah. I mean, it could have been a million other things, but I just think personally it was probably a ghost.
Yeah. Interesting story, though, for sure.
Well, the thing about it is, I just happened to find that the other day because I'm starting to do some more looking up things about Michigan, the haunted Michigan, and I just happened to come across that, and then I typed in that war, and then I was reading into about this chief water walker, I guess is what his name was, and what had happened, how the British and them massacred the U.S. the U.S. troops in Michigan, and then the curse thing, and then And then I'm reading these guys' encounter story about what happened to them. And then there's some Indian. I'm like, this kind of does kind of add up a little bit to what I was reading, So I thought that was something interesting to share because, it's not often you find things of that nature.
Right.
Kind of match up. I don't know.
Sure. Yeah, it's interesting.
It is.
But, but it's always the bizarre. It's always the bizarre.
That's what we're looking for.
We always
Definitely food for thought.
I got something really quick before we got about 8 minutes. There's something I did want to run by you guys that I found as well in regards to like Sasquatch and how we always think we're gonna have disclosure, this, that, and the other.
Mm.
And I came across this article I just wanted to read really quick because it has to do with our government. And I gotta find it now because I kind of deleted it from okay. Oh, here we go. Okay, here's something I came across just by happenstance here, and it says that Bigfoot, you guys, it says in this article I was reading, Bigfoot was once included in an official Army atlas of Washington State. And this thing that I'm reading goes on to say the inclusion of Sasquatch as being part of the state's recognized wildlife is long proven to be a curiosity. Back in 1975, the U.S. Army of Corps of Engineers published a comprehensive 114-page book entitled The Washington Environmental Atlas, which cost $200,000 to produce. Now, that's back in 1974, so that was probably a ton of money. The book took several years to compile and contained detailed information on the wildlife, the environment, the geography of the region, as well as maps, diagrams, photographs, and more. It contained entries on plants, archaeological sites, rivers, forests, and just about anything and everything else that anyone could ever need to know about the state of Washington. But there was one edition that continued to raise eyebrows, even to this day. An inclusion that has sparked a great deal of debate and speculation over the intervening of 50 years since the book's release. In a part of the book about wildlife, the authors had oddly decided to include an entire section all about Bigfoot, treating the cryptozoological creature as though it was actually genuine. Accepted part of the state's established inhabitants, it says. That's probably a miswrite there. While it does acknowledge that the existence of such an animal is disputed, its inclusion is that a U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, the Atlas, remains a rather baffling peculiarity. The book makes reference to hair samples being tested in FBI laboratories and claims that no matches could be found to any existing known species. We all know about that. It also goes on to describe the creature's physical characteristics in great detail, including the size of its feet, as determined by, again, plaster casts and even facial features. It even mentions other similar cryptids cited in Russia. Ultimately, it's not clear as why such a serious, expensively produced. And here's the thing: they're not sure why they spent so much money on producing this document. And, this document does exist because I kind of looked that up too really quick. And here's actually the document cover. It's an inlet on the, so you got the state of Washington, and this is from the Army Corps of Engineers, and all the red dots is every single alleged Bigfoot sighting or encounter. Certainly in the state of Washington, we know that they supposedly are all over that state. That's a nice cluster. And the stuff you can't read at the bottom is just other data. So why do you think, it's kind of strange. I thought it was kind of interesting to close out the show with, simply because, our government wrote something. The Army Corps of Engineers, they believe, which lends me to believe that they've had one. They've probably already had one in captivity or a body.
Oh yeah,
they've worked it.
Absolutely.
I mean, if they're spending $200,000 on this, there's something up. And that to me, That to me is a nice piece of abstract evidence, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you spend $200,000 on a myth?
Well, look at this comment here. Chris Anderson says this is true. And if you get stationed at Fort Lewis, they actually tell you they are on post. I live here. That's what he says. That's interesting. There you go.
I just thought that was an interesting
Thank you,
tidbit.
T-Bone.
Thank
Very
you,
nice.
T-Bone. You're awesome, T-Bone. I appreciate everybody for their membership gifting today. And, of course, the people that have donated. Let's see. Let me find it. Can you find it? Let me see. We'll run through this one more time as we're getting close to the end here.
So real quick, back onto that, what you just read, though. Sorry.
Yeah. No, I'm not
But
ending. I'm just.
I just got one quick comment that, we're getting, like this UFO, UAP,
Yeah.
soft disclosures. Maybe it's their way of a soft disclosure,
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. It was written in 1974 and published.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So that's my thing. It's 1974. It was a written document that spent $200,000 in 74, which today is probably $1 million.
Quite a bit.
Yeah, a lot of money now. Yeah.
Why would you just take the
Pretty
time
cool.
to spend the money for something that you don't believe in, right? That's
As a
kind of my
lark.
point in 74. And when was Patterson Gimlin? 67?
67. Then you had Falk is around that time.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had the Missouri Momo all around in the 70s. So maybe it was just that, I don't know.
I don't either.
Mm-hmm.
Momo. I used to play poker at a club called Momo's. It was an underground card club. It was
I actually think the Momo thing, though, was like 76 or 77. I don't think it was that. I don't think it was in 74. But yeah.
But to me, that's a flat admission that the government knows they exist.
Oh, yeah.
I thought it was interesting.
I know.
Thanks to everybody for coming on in with the super chats and all that great stuff. I hope you enjoyed the show. It's a little different on Saturdays. We break away from the more serious stuff. Although today was kind of cool with the bizarre news and that little story we did. Don't forget to subscribe to Bigfoot Mr. Rob on YouTube if you're new. The Blondes and the Booze Paranormal Podcast if you're new. Monica Rollins, our Paranormal World. Texas Front Porch. Donnie Cho Says Stuff. Paranormal Paul. Josh Turner over there at PRT. Give him subscribe if not already. Subscribe to all of us. And don't forget, you guys, the tickets for the conference. I tell you, it's going to be, an event. I think I got a great feeling, gals. I think it's going to be a nice turnout. I can tell already.
There already is a nice turnout.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're ready.
Yep.
It already is.
Yep.
Any departing thoughts, ladies, you want to bring up before I find the exit button?
The one that moves all around the page.
Yeah.
What I'm taking away from this show is just don't go in the water.
Yeah.
I've noticed too, I must be attracted to it because I noticed last couple of weeks I'm always finding things on the ocean. But the ocean is intriguing. I will tell you this. There's billions of acres of North American forests that have not been explored.
Mm-hmm.
But the ocean is almost like it's way vaster.
Well, not even just the ocean. Look at that last encounter you just read. They flipped their canoe. That's water too. So like I said, just don't go in the water, people.
Just stay out of it. There's scary fish and ghosts and all kinds of stuff.
Yep.
Hey, Monica, we were all talking about, I still like the beach. I'll go to the beach. But now, even if you're out wading a foot in the ocean, you guys have seen this? The helicopter does the overhead picture, and they've seen there's 50 people out in the ocean, nothing over their head, right up to their knees, and there had to been 100 sharks within feet of them.
Oh yeah, you can get attacked by a shark in knee deep water. I heard
Yeah.
like some crazy shallow amount of water.
They say most shark attacks are closer to shore than they are out in the actual abyss.
Yep. No, thank you.
Yeah, I'm good. I mean, I when I go to Hawaii again, I'll probably still go in the ocean, but it makes me. I'll go in there and I swim for like 10 minutes, and then I freak out and I haul back up on the beach.
Yeah.
I will never go to the oceans if I ever make it of Australia.
Oh no, I'm not swimming in Australian water.
No. That's Great White Shark City.
It's a beautiful country, but
Yeah.
I have no desire to go. I'm not built for dodging murderous bushes and animals all day.
Snakes.
Yeah, I hear you there.
You're not safe on the land. You're not safe in the water. All they need is pterodactyls.
Right.
Florida's worse enough with all the alligators in people's backyard swimming pools.
Oh, now there's like anacondas or some crap in the
Oh,
Everglades.
good grief.
And you've got the Asian carp jumping out of the water and slapping you.
Well, we
That's
got that
here.
coming. We got that coming in the
here.
Great Lakes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we do. A lot of craziness. A lot of craziness going on in the world. Thanks everybody for coming on in, as I said. And until next week, for Krista, Monica, y'all have a great rest of your weekend. I'm getting stuffed up, it sounds like. BMR. And for the girls, we're out.
See ya.
Hit the like button, everybody.
This is the future. Evolution.
The Crossing Realms Conference launches September 19th and 20th and will dock in Richmond, Missouri. This is already being called the event of the year, folks. With an unprecedented list of speakers and special guests, 2 days of cryptids, UFOs, and paranormal presentations, along with a celebrity-filled ghost hunt, meet and greet, gallery reading, vendors, and a film screening. This promises to be both educational and fun. Go to Eventbrite.com to secure your tickets and vendor slots before they are all abducted. They're going fast.